Congratulations, you're a father now. I'm so happy for you and your wife. How crazy is it for you to be in this new role in your life?
Man, well, thank you, by the way. It's great. It was difficult in the beginning because I don't know if you knew, but she had to come back. She gave birth in the States while I was playing in
Mhm.
Japan. So like I was with her for most, like let's say for the most of more than half of the pregnancy, but then I couldn't be here because of COVID. Like initially we
Mhm.
thought that I was gonna be able to fly back to Omaha and be here for the birth. But since Japan has a 2 week quarantine rule, and and it wasn't like a schedule, like C-section or anything, it was like a natural birth. We weren't sure what day. So
Mhm.
imagine if I couldn't ask for the team, like I would have to ask them for like a full month, which you know how it is. Like that's not gonna work. Like if I come back here,
Yeah.
then I got to quarantine 2 weeks back. I get out of shape, so it's like it just but once I got back and I got to meet my son and everything, right now it's awesome, man. I mean, it's a lot of definitely a lot of crying and a lot of stuff to the baby
Mhm.
too, but
Yeah.
uh, we're getting there. We're getting there, trying to get on a good schedule, and it's weird, man. It's like you don't really know how it feels until you actually, until you're there, until you experience it, and it's been a blessing.
I'm going through some quarantine protocol stuff right now, being back in Canada. I'm technically not allowed to leave my basement essentially until I guess next
Yeah,
Tuesday. So I totally understand what you are talking about when it comes to, different countries with this craziness happening around the world, different countries taking their precautions. Has that been
yeah.
probably the toughest thing for you to deal with since you've been playing overseas? I would imagine the birth of your son, the inability to be there, definitely is tough up there on the list of stuff that, is troublesome when this is the job that you perform at.
Yeah, this is difficult. I mean, I'm glad it actually happened on a game day. We had a game that day, and I thought
Mhm.
I was nervous that I was even going to miss it because the plan was that I was going to be on video call, so at least I was going to be able to see it. And we weren't
Yeah.
sure. I'm like, man, I'm going to miss it. We had shoot around. I got to shoot around, and I'm like, ah. And then I come back, and right as I came back, I was actually able to see the whole thing at least on video, but so that
Mhm.
made it a little better. And we also won that day, so it made it like even a little like more special, like because we hadn't. It was a rough season, by the way, so we were like looking for wins, and then that day was like perfect. Like my
Yeah.
son's birth, and then we won, and so just all, and I was able to at least see it, and
Mhm.
but but it is more credit to her. I mean, she understood my wife. She understood what was happening and that I had to be in
Mhm.
Japan working, and that definitely helped.
Yeah. Basketball has brought you literally all over the place, but the first time that it brought you away from home was when you were a teenager. You go from Venezuela to St. Benedict's, Tell me that
Right.
feeling of like literally being 14, 15 years old, being told like, hey, this is the time where you have to pack up your things, you have to go away from home if you want these dreams of yours, to come true.
Man, yeah, I was 14 at the time, and I mean, I don't know. I guess being so young, sometimes you don't even realize what's about to happen. So I think that kind of helped. They
Yeah.
say ignorance is bliss. So I think, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I didn't know what I was getting myself into, especially St. Benedict's being. I had no idea how competitive high school basketball could be in states, and especially that program. So and Coach Hurley, who's now coaching UConn. He's
Mhm.
obviously one of the best coaches I ever had, but he's tough. He's a tough guy, and for me coming in, uh, it was definitely a shock at first. I mean, I knew, and he knew that I could play. He knew that I had some talent, but I definitely needed to polish some things that it just unfortunately we just don't get. At least in Venezuela, we didn't have. We didn't have that setup where you study and have competitive basketball right after, and like it's all structure. We didn't have nothing like that, so I couldn't. I kind of went in to like the dark and having to figure out a new language too, and it was a lot, definitely a lot, but it helps you grow up fast, and people that were very helpful. and you know, I was kind of able to, you know how it is, man, being a foreign, you don't got a choice. Either you do it or you don't. I mean, you go home, and I didn't want to go back home, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like I have much of a choice, but I'm glad that I did that, and it definitely shaped me into I think who I am today, and you know, and everything that we went through in college.
You had a wonderful host family that kind of guided you through that whole time where obviously you're a young teenager and then coming into your own as a man. And you guys are still obviously really close to this day. Talk about like how being in that family structure, being so far away from home, helping your development, not only obviously on the court, but also off of it as far as just like social life is concerned.
Oh yeah, man, they definitely the Smiths, yeah, the Eileen, you know, and
Mhm.
Coach Smith, Scott Smith, Kieran, Kaylee, Morgan, yeah, they're definitely. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say like these. I want to use the word save me just because I hated high school, man. Like I love what the high school did for
Yeah.
me and everything, but it was so many rules and it was just a lot, man. I'm like, man, I'm ready because you know when you're from another country, you see all these movies and it's, oh the high school parties and like the American lifestyle and all this and that. But I was seeing none of it because I was like in there, you know, study basketball, study basketball, study basketball, study basketball. So none of it, zero. So it's
Yeah.
like I felt like I was lied to, and you know, once they took me in, I believe through I think it was my sophomore year, or finishing my freshman year, I was able to at least see a different side. I was able to go to the mall. I was able to meet people my age. I was able to just see outside a little more and more of like a family setting and
Mhm.
it made it all so much better. I mean, I couldn't even I mean, yeah, like as you know, to this day we're still in touch and we will ever be in touch. Uh, but I could never probably repay them what that meant for me and what it did for me. I can't even put it in words. Like it was everything at that time.